The disdain that the Denver Nuggets have for the Los Angeles Lakers has been on full display ever since these two teams matched up in the conference finals. And what's comedy is that Denver Nuggets head coach Michael Malone has actually been the catalyst for most of this smoke. So after a Game 2 victory against the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals, Mike Malone took it upon himself to let everybody know exactly how tired he was of hearing about the Los Angeles Lakers.
Do you think this team's feeding off, this old school maybe, but very cliche, a chip on their shoulder or not?
Oh, I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. It's whatever we can use for motivation, and I think a lot of our guys, to be honest, they may not admit this or not, you win game 1 of the playoffs, and all everybody talked about was the Lakers. Let's be honest, that was a national narrative was, hey, the Lakers are fine. They're down 1-0, but they figured something out. No one talked about Nikola just had a historic performance. He's got 13 triple-doubles now, 3rd all time. What he's doing is just incredible, but the narrative wasn't about the Nuggets. The narrative wasn't about Nikola. The narrative is about the Lakers and their adjustments. So, you put that in your pipe, you smoke it, and you come back, and you know what? We're going to go up 2-0.
Do you think that narrative changes tonight?
Well, I don't care if it does, because we know our narrative in that locker room. We know that we're not done. We haven't done anything yet. All right, you got to win a game on the other team's home court if you really want to do something in a series. And we know how great that team is, especially on their home court. So we're not celebrating. This is not cause for celebration. This is a cause to continue to dig deep and find ways to be better.
When Michael Malone said this, I was low-key on his side because to me it didn't seem like what he was saying was really coming from a malicious place. It felt like he was simply sticking up for his group of guys who were at the time trying to cap off what ended up being a magical season in Denver. But little did I know, this would only be the start of something much, much bigger. Just look at the grin on his face right here when he says that the Lakers have gone fishing and that the Nuggets are still playing.
Well, if anybody's still talking about the Lakers in the NBA Finals, that's on them. They've gone fishing. We're still playing.
Guys, look at this grin and then tell me that this whole ordeal wasn't personal for him. So as you guys could guess, from this point, it would only get worse with Michael Malone upping the ante. Shortly after his gone fishing comments, Michael Malone would go on to lightheartedly mock LeBron's potential retirement. And yes, that's right. For those of you that forgot, there really was LeBron retirement discourse that took place earlier this year. This discourse would start after the Western Conference Finals when LeBron James would make it known that he was thinking about the possibility of retiring, which nobody really believed was going to happen. A lot of people, for better or for worse, saw right through LeBron's potential retirement. In fact, a lot of people took LeBron starting this discourse as him trying to make the finals that wouldn't be featuring him about him. Regardless of whatever Bron's intentions were, Michael Malone figured he'd get in on the conversation, saying this on the Pat McAfee show after the NBA Finals.
Well, a really good question. And speaking of the Lakers, I just want you guys to know this is breaking news. I'm thinking about retiring, so don't tell anybody.
You love the house coach, you love it! Now, throughout the course of Bron's career, he hasn't really been somebody that usually responds to the media or really cares about critics. Not only would LeBron respond to Michael Malone, he'd give him a whole Instagram post saying this: "I've been in Europe these past few weeks minding my business and I hear I'm on your mind that much. I guess I see why, but wave the flag on these lames. Please make being player cool again because the lame machine is at an all-time high. Enjoy your light, but just know I'm the sun I stay on forever." LeBron really said, enjoy your light, but just know I'm the sun because I stay on forever. This was basically Bron's way of telling Coach Malone to enjoy his moment because who knows when that next one is coming. Now, with this beef already starting to get weird, somehow it would get weirder after the Nuggets won their first championship. Check this out. At the Lakers championship parade, Vic Lombardi would introduce Michael Malone as the Lakers' daddy of all things, all while Michael Malone was sporting a shirt that had his infamous quote on it: "Put that in your pipe and smoke it."
He came into this world as the son of a coach, but in these playoffs, he became the Lakers' daddy. So I tell you what, NBA, put that in your pipe and smoke it.
At this point, even the Los Angeles Lakers head coach Darvin Ham was starting to get tired of this whole charade. saying that's what they call him now, the Lakers' daddy. Yeah, this stuff isn't over. So of course, Ham and Bron wouldn't be the only members of the Lakers organization who felt the need to let Michael Malone and the Denver Nuggets know that they had no idea what they were getting themselves into. Ahead of the Lakers' opening night game, which is unironically against the Denver Nuggets, Anthony Davis would say this about the trash talk that he's been hearing this offseason. It's very motivational. I mean, obviously KCP is my guy, so you kind of congratulate him like you got this one, but it was just like a lot of the talking and the Lakers' dad thing. There was just so much of that going on. It was like, all right, we get it, y'all won. But me and Bron, we've had some conversations and we can't wait. There's no moral victories. It ain't like, oh, we had a 0.3% chance of making the playoffs and got into the Western Conference Finals. Nah, we feel like we had enough to win. Obviously, we had to climb an uphill battle for 2 months, even trying to make the playoffs, but it's a lot of motivation. You want to win. Anytime you lose, it's motivation to get ready for the next season to try to compete for a championship. So that in itself is motivation. But also, so is all of the little talking that's been going around all summer. The pure savage that is Michael Malone would hear all of what AD said and shrug it off the best way that a gaslighter could. To quote Michael Malone, oh, they're talking about us? That was what, 4 months ago? I can't speak for anybody in LA, but if they're still worried about us, that's on them. This is a new season, a new challenge, and it was a great series against them. I know it was a 4-0 sweep, but all of those games seemed like they went down to the wire. We have tremendous respect for that team. I have tremendous respect for Darvin Ham as a coach and the job that he did. But yeah, I don't listen to any of that stuff. I don't know what they're saying, and if we're on their minds, I guess that's on them. This savage Michael Malone really started this whole thing. Went on to milk it dry, even sporting his own merch in the process. And then once the Los Angeles Lakers finally responded with just a tad bit of pushback, he whips out the handy dandy, if they're still worried about us, that's on them card. Are you kidding me? That right there is absolutely pure savagery on the behalf of Michael Malone. Now, I don't want to say that I didn't know that he had this in him, because I did. I think that we all knew how much of a savage that Michael Malone had the potential to be. But with that being said, who saw LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers being the desired target of Malone's savagery? Michael Malone literally could have picked any player or team to go in on, and for some reason, he just had to pick LeBron James and the Los Angeles Lakers. Which, mind you, that Bron and Michael Malone actually go way back. So much so that LeBron would actually defend Michael Malone when he got fired from Sacramento, saying that a good friend of mine got fired in Sacramento. The Kings didn't know what they were doing with Mike Malone. Now, if Bron was really such a good friend of Michael Malone, then you would think that he would know that Michael Malone, surprisingly, doesn't like being called Mike Malone.
Nuggets, Mike Malone, and Coach
Michael Malone.
Michael Malone. My apologies, Coach. I'll get that right here in the playoffs. Coach, where do you want to?
Jokes aside, in the past, Mike Malone himself would actually cite the close relationship that he formed with Bron back in those Cleveland days as a major catalyst for his career and a huge reason that he is where he is today. To quote him, I would not be a head coach if it wasn't for those 5 years in Cleveland. I would not be a head coach if Mike Brown didn't let me coach. But because we won and because I had a relationship with LeBron, Mike Brown would let me coach. Guys, in the comments below, let me know what you guys think of everything. Should Michael Malone be more humble and more grateful, all things considered? Are the Los Angeles Lakers being far too sensitive and taking this entire thing way too personally? Do the Los Angeles Lakers even stand a chance at taking out the Denver Nuggets this year? Remember, they had every opportunity to shut Michael Malone up during the playoffs last season, but unfortunately for them, they couldn't. Guys, clicking the video on the screen right now is a great way to support my channel. I'm GetLikeCoop, bringing you guys the scoop until our next upload.